David Blaze right there trying to let us know. I mean, it's okay to plan for the future, but do not forget to also live in the moment. Enjoy the moment, that preceding the future. Welcome to the conversation on TOSTV Network, your digital first Pan-African news network, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. And of course, my name is Ade Sowasi. We're going to be having a very interesting conversation later on. But before then, I'll bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa. And after that, it's straight into the talk for today. And that's the big story. You're still here on the conversation on TOSTV Network, and as I always say, you can be a part of the conversation across our social media platforms. Just follow TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, it's TOSTV Network, and of course, stream our website, www.tostvnetwork.com, for news, stories, and happenings from across the world. Now, straight into the conversation for today. So, on Saturday, 26th of March, the APC, that's the All Progressive Congress, finally had the much anticipated APC National Convention ahead of 2023 elections. This saw Senator Abdullahi Adamu emerge the national chairman for the party, consensus decision for that one. So today on the conversation, we're going to be looking at the fallout of that convention. And to join me in having this conversation is Wale Bakare, a public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you. Now let's get straight into it. There's been a lot of buzz before and even after the convention. People are still talking about it. And my question now is, going by everything that happens, the emergence of Senator Abdullahi Adamu and all the delegates, do you think that the result of what we saw on Saturday was political or was it strategic? Let me clear that up for you. I do know that Senator Abdullahi Adamu and some other delegates were founding members of the PDP. They were largely in the PDP before joining the APC, and having them as having Senator Adamu himself as the national chairman for the APC. Do you think that's political or that's a strategic move against the PDP by the APC?
Thank you. Yeah, I'll say it's both political and strategic,
okay,
if you have it. So. I think the notion of saying Adamu Abdullahi was in the PDP and then it shouldn't be made the chairman, I think it's wrong. If we do our research well, the question I would ask is, how long did Adamu Abdullahi stay in the PDP? You understand? And if you look at the PDP itself today, you have people who have been founding members of the APC, cross-carpet back to the PDP. And those are the two largest political parties we have in Nigeria at the moment. So, of course, it's normal to have people leave that party to another. And then you have members coming from one party to the APC to the PDP. So, I mean, you can't bring in people from outside that to the other party.
But this is not just leaving. This is somebody who knows, like, the bedrock of the PDP, having to lead the APC. And we're looking at, there's been a back and forth between both parties ahead of 2023 general election. Do you think that's not a strategic move to just have him there, saying this person knows in and out of the opposition, so he is the best person for the job at this point?
Yeah, so that's a part of it. I mean, for a party like APC, if you, like you rightly said, if you look at the event leading to the build-up to this convention, there's been a lot of bakery, there's been a lot of whether it will be successful, whether it will hold or not. Yes. Now you have somebody, because of these issues, you have somebody who the party think can galvanize all this interest together based on his experience, whether in PDP or back in the APC. The party has said, look, this is the person we feel. And recall that Adamu Abdullahi was the one traveling across the states to reconcile. It was the one saddled with the responsibility to reconcile all the aggrieved people in the fallout of the ward election, the local government election, and the state's election, and even at the national. So you can see that it's a strategic move, if you ask me.
Okay, so it's for you, it's more strategic than it's political.
Yeah, it's a very strategic move.
Okay, and something quite interesting. I think I was having a conversation the other day with some certain persons, and you did mention that Senator Adamu had been, in the reconciliation committee and having to reconcile aggrieved members of the party. And I think on Saturday it was decided that the presidency from the APC would go to the South, right? And so I know that at some point Senator Adamu had said that the South should not even think it's a bit too big to actually think that the presidency will go to them. It has been said that he's more an advocate of the presidency going to the North. So do you think now, don't you think that putting him in this position is has the APC not walked into a booby trap at this point?
I disagree.
Okay.
So at the point, whatever the reason why he said that remains his opinion. Okay. Right, but things have changed now. You can see everybody have galvanized around him to show him, to rally support for him. And if the party insists that it's going to the South, then as the head of the party, at that point, elected, then he has no choice than to do the bidding of the majority of the stakeholders in the party.
But how does this speak to a unified front? Stability in the party and a unified front, because I know, with the back and forth that has been happening with the party, a lot of people have said, oh, the APC is disorganized at this point, they're not unified and all of that stuff. So how does this now speak to a unified front for the party?
I'd like to say that coming after the convention, if you look at it holistically, it will appear that the APC is even more united after the convention than it was before. And even the opposition that has been saying, everybody has been having a laugh that this will never be successful, are actually shocked because we had the largest crowd in history at that convention. And if you look the other way, you will see that it looks like the APC somehow have been able to put their house in order. And it's even the opposition battling with zoning and some calling for no zoning. So if you look at it objectively, you will see that it looks like the APC has somehow been able to mop up its issue, and everybody has fallen in line, in line with what the leadership wants to do. So I feel there's unity now. Look at people who have had to even step down for other popular candidates, right? Yeah. You will see that even though it's human nature, it's normal to want something, but when reasons prevail, you come to the stage, you announce your withdrawal, and then you even as far as go to write the consent of the withdrawal, saying that you have, so that takes away all of these legal tussles and the disunity that we like to talk about. There were about 78 positions, NWC and non-NWC, that were up for grabs. So imagine going into election for all of that. You can see how messy that would be for what the party is trying to do. So I think they've been able to manage it well in such a way that the APC today looks more stable than it were 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Okay,
it's actually beautiful that you mentioned, you said there were 78 positions that were up for grab, and then it would have been messy to have all of that, make it an elective position instead of, because I know we had more consensus than elections that were supposed to happen at the convention. Do you not think that would leave a plethora of aggrieved people, in as much as you're saying that, oh, they agree? Did you say it's in human nature to want something, and then but does that not leave a lot of aggrieved people? And I would not going to see people leaving the party to join the opposition party ahead of 2023.
So the truth really is, when you decide to join a party, right, you have the party's constitution. And the party has clearly, even the Electoral Act has clearly stated out the 3 ways by which election can be conducted. It can go via direct, that's via the delegates, indirect, and also you can go through the consensus. And so once the party that you are a member of decides to say we want to adopt a consensus method, then you are bound by it to agree. Okay. So by the time the party says this is the way we want to go, now we've always talked about party supremacy, and that was about the time for you to prove your loyalty to the party. If your personal interest is going to put the party in trouble, then what do? You jettison that, not just in your own interest of the party. You understand? So I feel that consensus is good, because it's been able to show that when you decide to want to run for a position, that it's consensus, and who gets to vote. You have delegates, either statutory or non-statutory. And these delegates, if your position is zoned to a state, to a region rather, and micro-zoned to a state, who is the leader of that delegate? The governor. So if the governor says, we're going this way, we're going that way. So regardless, if I decide I want contest, I probably will be wasting my time and putting the party under a lot of pressure. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do get you.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up, you're saying that everything that happened is like the APC has taken the right step in the right direction ahead of the elections in 2023.
I believe so. They've taken the bull by the horn. They've been able to put the house in order. They've been able to sort out a lot of knotty issues that's actually threatened the party's existence, and then a lot of issues that we felt, if we're not nipping the bud at the moment, will snowball into something bigger going into the 2023 elections. So I'm happy that all of that have been resolved and the party is looking good to go.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining me on the show this morning.
You're most welcome.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. And thank you for staying with me on the conversation this morning. Do not forget, I'll be back here same time, same channel tomorrow. But before then, follow us across all social media platforms. TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The channel to subscribe to on YouTube is TOSTV Network. And of course, stream our website, www.tostvnetwork.com, for news, stories and happenings from across the world. My name is Ade Suwelsoyi. Thank you and join me again tomorrow.